Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Phxeenix and today we are going to talk about Awakening Guardian's movement in terms of her awakening and her pre-awakening skills. Before I get started, however, I just want to thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers and also thank you guys for your patience. As some of you may know, I have recently moved to a new state, and so I've been working extremely hard on getting everything settled and myself settled in. So once again, thanks so much for your patience, and if you have not heard and you would like to watch a little video about it, the video is called Exciting News and it will be linked on the screen somewhere, so keep an eye out for it if you are interested. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to get notified when new videos go live. And if you guys have anything that you would like to add to the Awakening Guardian movement, please feel free to leave it in the comments down below, as it can help someone else out and it can even help me out. Alright, let's get started with Awakening Guardian's movement. So here we are in BA, and as you can see, I have this little keypad thing up for you guys so that you can see exactly what my inputs are when I'm using them, so hopefully that's useful for some of you. But we'll get started going through our awakening skills, and the first thing we'll talk about is going to be Infernal Nemesis over here. It is your down F, and I like to refer to it as Phxeenix Dive. So if you guys hear me say Phxeenix Dive, this is the skill that I am talking about. So the great thing about Infernal Nemesis is it has invincibility as soon as you put in the input, and then it's got super armor at the end. So if you look closely, as soon as I press my down F, invincibility immediately, and then super armor at the end. And the reason this skill can be extremely lucrative is it's used as like a panic button. I use it as a panic button, like, oh no, I am stuck here, I am slowed, I am debuffed, I can't attack fast, what do? I Phxeenix Dive on out of there. And it's really great because with your Phxeenix Dive, even if you are debuffed, even if you are slowed, you are still moving, albeit a little slowly. You're moving slower, which is good because you are running down that debuff timer. So whether it's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, you are running it down. And the same can be said for our second movement skill, Frost Slide, which is your shift plus directional key. And it gives you invincibility as soon as you use it, and then it also has a linger. So as you can see, it has that small invincibility linger, which if you are debuffed with your movement speed, that linger lasts a little bit longer. And so I have my good friend Edo here who is going to debuff me so that I can show you guys exactly how this works. So he'll go ahead, and I'm watching down here the first one, that's the second one. I'll go ahead and Phxeenix Dive out of there and invincibility dash, let it linger, and I only had 4 seconds on the clock left after that invincibility wore off. So it's, like I said, a good panic button, a good way to get out of a sticky situation. The next skill we will talk about is going to be our up RMB, which I like to think of as a secondary skill. It's not necessarily like a primary movement skill, but I use it as a way to get from pack to pack when it comes to PvE. So if you look here, your up RMB has super armor while moving and invincibility when vanished. What that means is you slide, you slash, and then you do a series of slashes. The slide has super armor, the slash is unprotected, and then your series of slashes are invincible. So I'll show you right here on this poor soul. I'll go boom, slash, and then attack. The unprotected slash also can float on the hit, so it could be very useful to use, but it is also a little bit risky as it's unprotected and you run the risk of getting caught. So you have to make that decision for yourself if that's something that you choose to do. So something worth mentioning is when you do your unprotected slash, it has a very wide range, and so you can pretty much go in between something. So I'm going to go in between this tree and this guy just to show you what that looks like, and then I'm going to turn my camera so that my invincibility slashes land on the guy. So I'm going to go boom, slash, and turn, and I immediately land all hits on him. And so the reason you want to be aware of where your guardian is facing is because if you don't, you will end up with this. The input that the slash has hit was red, so your RMB went through, your invincible slashes went through and you slashed nothing. That's why it is important to be aware of where your camera is facing, and keep in mind that if you don't hit anything, you will look like this. And then you hold your RMB and nothing happens because you didn't hit anything. So the way I mentioned earlier that I do like to use RMB or my up RMB as a way to get from pack to pack, and the reason that is mostly in close range packs. So like, let's say this guy is, or let's go like right here. So this is a pack and that is a pack. So what I would do after I finish killing this one is I would slide, dash, and I'm at the next pack. If your packs are a little bit more further apart, what you would like to use is going to be your Awakening Juggernaut. So Awakening Juggernaut has forward guard, and it can give you another 10% movement speed for 10 seconds, just like Frost Slide, although I would use Frost Slide more for the movement speed buff, as it has a lower cooldown, just boop, 3 seconds, and you can use it every 3 seconds for that movement speed buff. So with your Awakening Juggernaut, let's show you the distance with that. It's your up F and you have forward guard, and we go from that guy all the way over to this crow over here. So as you can see, that's quite a bit of range covered. Mostly useful for packs that are in larger distance apart, and also if you're in PvP and your enemy is way ahead of you or way in front of you, you can use that to close the gap. And the cool thing is Awakening Juggernaut is very versatile. You can use any skill out of it. So I'll show you real quick right here, and I'll use my Shift F, and boom. Full forward guard to super armor. Full protection. And so it's worth noting that when you use your Juggernaut, you do have a 1 second sort of delay before your input is read. So if I go Juggernaut and then immediately into Shift F, she'll have to do a little bit of that Juggernaut, and then she'll do her Cleansing Flame and continue on. So one of my favorite movement combos from Juggernaut is going to be Juggernaut into my Phxeenix Dive, into my Frost Slide, or my Invincibility Dash. So I'll Juggernaut into that, and then Invincibility Dash out of it, and I'm ready to attack again. So that's just the easiest Awakening movement combo you can have for Guardian. And if you are simply purely PvE, then this is going to be it. You won't need anything else, and you really don't need any more movement than this, because she just doesn't need it. The packs are not going to be so far apart that you would need to like race to get to them. Trust me, this is going to be fine. But that sums up her Awakening kit. Let's go through and talk about her pre-Awakening movement skills next. So for pre-Awakening, we'll go over here into her main. And then what first skill we'll look at is Fierce Disdain. So Fierce Disdain is your AD plus RMB, and it gives you invincibility while you do the dash, and then super armor on the hit. So what that looks like is this. So let me get into my pre-Awakening. Okay, AD, RMB, boom, and boom. Saw that invincibility, and then when she went to slash, she had super armor. So that's a really good skill that you can use for movement, because even though it goes laterally, you turn your camera, you can cover from here to about here just by, moving your camera and going AD RMB. It also has a stiffen, so if you are in a PvP situation, that would be a really good skill to use to get them CC'd, and then go ahead and grab them or do float or something on them if you want to afterwards. Okay. That's our Fierce Disdain. From there, we'll go and talk about Foretold Encounter. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to use Foretold Encounter strictly from a jump. So Foretold Encounter also has forward guard. Be mindful of that. Very useful, as it is another protected movement skill, and it can also give you, or it does give you, all accuracy rate plus 12% for 10 seconds, which 12% accuracy is pretty huge. So the way you use it from a jump is you simply jump into RMB, and you've covered quite a bit of ground. But you can also use this, that's not it. You can also use this from axe throw. So what axe throw looks like is you do your down E, hold RMB, and you go right into Foretold Encounter. And Axe Throw also has forward guard, then Foretold Encounter has forward guard, so once again, you are completely protected, and Axe Throw is a really good skill to use in PvP as it does decrease attack, casting, and movement speed by 50%. Okay, from there, we'll go and we'll talk about Claw Reveal. Claw Reveal has forward guard, and it doesn't move you quite as much, but it does move you enough to where you can get a little bit of extra ground covered if you are in the middle of a combo while still being protected. So the way I'll show you that is simply by using LMB and then into my spacebar, and boom, you saw that forward guard. Once again, small linger, and there. All right. And Claw Reveal can also be used through a lot of different skills, so just mess around with it and figure out what works for you. The goal of this video is just to sort of show you the different ways that you can use these skills and have you guys ultimately make the decisions on how you want to use them. I feel like I've said that before. All right, next up is going to be our Oma's Objurgation over here. Woo! Over here, Oma's Objurgation, it's our up RMB, and the main point of this skill is simply to give you a little bit of extra movement. It has super armor, so just boom, up RMB, and there you've got it. A little bit of distance, but also full protection, except from a grab, obviously. And then same thing will go for our Black Blood's Descent. It's our up Q. Once again, just gives you super armor, extra protection if you don't want to just sit there and God Incinerator your life away. So up Q, just like that. And up Q covers a little bit more distance than up RMB. So keep that in mind when you are moving around. And the goal of Guardian is simply, and the goal of Guardian in PvP is simply to just move around until you're able to catch somebody, either with a grab or a CC or a knockdown, whatever it is. Like, just move, right? And move while being protected. Okay, so from our Black Blood's Descent, we'll go in and talk about Sturdy Step. So Sturdy Step is similar to Invincibility Dash, however, all it gives you is forward guard. So if you are in Pre-Awakening, you can go ahead and up shift. You cannot do it left, right, or back because you will go into your Awakening form, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Yeah, so just up shift. But something a lot of people really like to use in her Pre-Awakening kit is the combo of Foretold Encounter from a jump into your up shift. So what that looks like is this. So remember our jump, boom, and then another dash. Just like that. And she immediately goes into a block from her dash. So what you can do is you can either press Q to get out of it, which can take a second, or if you just want to get out of it, follow up with another protected skill, such as AD-RMB. So boom, and then AD-RMB, and she doesn't go into her block, her Q block. All right. We went over Sturdy Step, now let's go over Rock Slide. So Rock Slide has 1, 2, and 3, as you can tell. Rock Slide 1 and 2 give you stiffness on hits, which means that it applies in PvE and PvP as well. And Rock Slide 3 will give you bound. So if you hit on that third Rock Slide, you will bound the person, and that third Rock Slide gives you a little bit more distance than 1 and 2 do. Also, Rock Slide 1 can only be activated from a quick slot, so I have it over here on my number 3, and then Rock Slide 2 and 3 you can hold space to keep jumping around. This is one of my favorite skills. I think she looks awesome doing it, but let's see. So I'll press 3 and then hold my space, and there she goes, last one, big distance. So she can go get almost across this entire thing with just her Rock Slide. And the last quick slot skill we will talk about is going to be in our skill enhancement. So we have over here Mountain's Echo, which gives you super armor while using skill, as well as that DP plus 20 for 10 seconds. So just another really good movement skill. You also have Sturdy Smite over here, but the reason we want Mountain's Echo instead of Sturdy Smite, even though Sturdy Smite is also a movement skill, is because of this super armor over here. Sturdy Smite has no protection, while Mountain's Echo has a protection. However, keep in mind this cooldown is 22 seconds long, so it's kind of a situational skill, I guess you could say, because of its long cooldown. And what it looks like is right here. I'll go ahead and press it. She runs and boom, into it. Very nice skill, covers a good amount of distance, so just something to be aware of is the long cooldown. All right, so now let's go over how we can go from awakening into pre-awakening and from pre-awakening into awakening. So here we are in our awakening stance, and the easiest and best way that I like to go into pre-awakening is by using my AD RMB. As you can see, we have that invincibility, that super armor, and the added benefit of that stiffen, which can provide you with a golden opportunity if you are in PvP. If you don't want to use the AD RMB, there is a variety of other things you can do. Your foretold encounter from your jump RMB will take you straight into pre-awakening as well. Jump RMB, like so. And you can also use your foretold encounter from your axe throw, right? And you can use that from your awakening. So axe throw, RMB, and there you are. And she does go into a block, as you can see, so the easiest way to get out of a block is just use another skill after it. You can press Q, but I feel like it takes too long for her to get out of her block, so just using any other skill, especially if you are in battle. You don't want to just sit there pressing Q. Alright, so another way that you can get from your awakening into your pre-awakening is by using up Q, like so. That will take you there, but up RMB will not, as up RMB will make you do your frigid wind, your slide with your invincibility slashes. So keep that in mind. And any other skill, so 3 and 1 from your quick slot, your rock slide, and your mountain's echo will take you straight into your pre-awakening as well, and you can choose what you want to do from there. All right, now that we've covered how to get into your pre-awakening, let's talk about how to get out of it and back into your awakening. The easiest and most simple way to get back into awakening is by using your frost slide dashes. And I like this one the most because you can do it in any direction, right? So you can go backwards, you can go left, right, or back. So there's a lot of variability for you to use this skill to get back into your awakening. Another thing you can do is you can use any skill off the quick slot that will allow you to get back into your awakening. Like, for example, your God Incinerator. Here I am in pre-awakening. My God Incinerator is on my quick slot 4. I'll go ahead and press 4 and she will do that. Same thing with your Fireborn Rupture. See, if you press Shift Q while she is still in her pre-awakening, she will gather up some health. Yay. All right. Oh, another good way to get back into your awakening is simply going to be using Juggernaut. Remember how versatile this skill is? Yep, well, you can use your Juggernaut to get into pre-awakening as well. So from that Juggernaut, you can go boom, there you go, up Q, or you can use your Juggernaut and go AD RMB, like so. There's just a lot of things you can do and a lot of ways that you can cancel Juggernaut besides just holding down the back button. All right, so now that we've covered how to get into her pre-awakening, from her awakening, and how to get out of her pre-awakening and back into her awakening, we're gonna have some fun, and I am going to go ahead and show you a couple of ways that her movement, a couple of ways where you can see how her movement really is. So we're gonna start here and we're gonna end up over by those men over there. So cue the music and we'll get started. So this entire combo is going to be done using only her pre-awakening skills. Boom. And just like that, we have made it here. So as you can see, Guardian can really move far. We went all the way from over there to over here. Now I'm gonna show you how you can cross BA using your awakening and pre-awakening. So we'll start here, cue the music once more, and let's go. here we are. So as you can see, Guardian really has a lot of potential and a lot of movement. The only thing that you will be limited by is your stamina, as her skills have low enough cooldowns where you can use 2 of them, not at the same time, but you know, you can use 2 of them within the same span of time. So crossing over here, I was able to use my Juggernaut in the beginning and at the very end. So there's just a lot of different ways, and this isn't the only way to combo the movement. There's just so many different ways that you can make it work with her. So just spend the time to really figure out what it is that you like to do, or what are some different ways that you can move around with her, especially in PvP scenarios. I hope you guys found that video informational and useful for you. If I did miss anything, leave it in the comments down below. There's so much information when it comes to Guardian's movement that I'm not even sure if I fit everything in, but I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. And as always, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.